Joining me now is world-famous treasure hunter Captain Carl Fizz Fismer, who's recovered artifacts from some of the world's most famous shipwrecks. He'll be the keynote speaker Saturday, April 21st at the Texas Treasure Show, hosted by the Texas Association of Metal Detecting Clubs. That'll be at the Mayborn Convention Center in Temple, about which we'll have more information on our website. How are you today, Captain Fismer?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
Can you give us a little preview of what you'll be talking about that Saturday at the Texas Treasure Show?
I'd like to title it Everything You've Ever Wanted to Know About Sunken Treasure. I've been diving on shipwrecks, mostly Spanish galleons, for about the last 46, 47 years. And I've done pretty good. It's better than most. I've recovered millions of dollars in coins and artifacts. And I put together a PowerPoint show of more than 40 years of treasure hunting.
And I looked you up on YouTube and saw a clip of you on Pawn Stars. Are you often called to sort of talk about or price those items that people bring in that are possibly from shipwrecks?
Yes, I've been there 4 times. And they ran 3 of the segments. The producer wasn't happy with one of them, but that's okay. I'm sure you know about producers. But 2 of them happened to be 2 of the most expensive items that they had. One of them was a gold coin, a large gold coin off of one of the shipwrecks here in Florida. And I'm very familiar with those. And I can pretty much tell you what that sells for today, any diver's price, or maybe any of the shops down in Key West that would carry them. It was minted, that particular coin was minted in Lima, Peru in the year 1710, and it ended up sinking off the coast of Florida here in 1715. Current value on those is about $22,000, so it's gone up since that time I was on Pawn Stars with that coin.
And, you know, we see a lot of movies about treasure divers and treasure hunters, especially around the Gulf area, and we get this impression that it's really rare. But from watching your videos, I got the impression that it's actually somewhat common. There's a lot down there to find. What would you have to say about that?
Well, I'd say there is a lot to find. You know, one of my most asked questions is, how much do you think is left? Because, you know, we have picked up a lot, and I'm speaking for all the treasure hunters in the whole world, but we haven't even got 2% off of what we know is down there. So it's got a long way to go. And with this new technology, satellite communication, remote sensing, we're going to see a lot of it. In fact, I even heard one rumor where Washington, D.C. was actually considering letting the Navy go treasure hunting.
Oh, well, do you think they would ever consult these experienced treasure hunters like yourself?
I doubt it. We're not real popular amongst the political group. Back in the 1940s and early 50s, Washington, D.C. only thought about those as just old shipwrecks, just old junk in the bottom of the ocean. They didn't care about them. And then men like Kip Wagner and Art McKee, 2 of the pioneers in our business, actually started recovering gold and silver and other artifacts from these galleons. And then that's when Washington, D.C. decided, well, wait a minute, we need to have some regulations now. So it seems like every time 2 politicians get together, they'll pass more laws against us. You guys over there in Texas, you know, you do mostly land metal detecting, although you got some good wrecks off Padre Island. The land metal detector people, I'm sure, would be able to tell you that every day certain areas are being posted as off limits to treasure hunting. Now, they won't do it like in hundreds of thousands of acres at once, but every day they chip away a little bit more, and eventually they'll get to the point where you might as well not even have a metal detector.
Oh, man. So have you encountered any of those issues in the field recently in your dives? Are there any sections of the ocean that they've kind of said are off limits for you yet?
Well, yeah. It used to be the Florida Keys was known as the treasure headquarters for the whole world. You know, we've got more Spanish galleons, at least that we know about, is in the area of the Florida Keys. So back in the 90s, they decided to turn it into a gigantic marine sanctuary, and now all that salvage work is outlawed.
So if people want to get in on this while they still can, if they want to get started as treasure hunters, what advice would you have for them?
You can metal detect on land, and you don't have to have a whole lot of equipment like in the water. You know, we have towable electronics, we have boats, and we have what those prop wash devices that make holes in the bottom. But for somebody wanting to just get started, all you really need is your basic handheld metal detector, and maybe if you want to get near the water, some snorkel gear. Because I've snorkeled in shallow water a lot, especially when it was legal in the Keys. I'm snorkeling in water that's only maybe 18 inches deep in metal detecting, and eventually all of the treasure, they hit the reef and they're being blown towards shore anyway. So there are many things can be found in less than 2 feet of water. The best stuff I've found here in Florida was only in hip deep, and I'm talking gold coins, gold jewelry, gold toothpicks. I wish it was out a little bit deeper, because in close like that, the surge is murder and the visibility is no good. I wish it was out in a little bit deeper water.
So you never really know what treasures are just kind of like right on the surface, maybe even in your backyard. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, it's not too late. Your most important tool is your handheld metal detector. Once you start using that, land or sea, then you'll figure out ways how you want to advance to the next step. I just didn't start where I'm at. I was very lucky, very lucky. When I started 7 years ago, I got to work with the pioneers in this business, some of them. Men like Art McKee, you've never heard of him, but he's known to us as the father of modern-day treasure hunting. In fact, he was in the hospital once, and I called him up, and I said, Art, there's an article in the newspaper here about you. They're calling you the father of modern-day treasure hunting. And he said, well, that's okay as long as they don't call me the grandfather.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me today, Captain Carl Fismer. You'll be at the TAMDC Texas Treasure Show as a keynote speaker at their banquet. Have you done the treasure show before?
Yes, there was one they had. It was called the Texas Council at the time. That was years ago. I bet I came over there maybe 20 years straight. And then just more recently, I kind of got away from it. They called me up and said, you feel like coming back? I said, well, I do. I have a lot of friends over there, and it's going to be good to see them. Plus, I'll have a treasure display set up, sunken treasure display with coins and artifacts. I'll have a table there, and although I will be the speaker at the banquet, I'll be there the whole time with treasure and artifacts. I've recently written my second book, and I'll have 40 years of treasure hunting all condensed into a book. In case anybody, like to buy one, I'd be happy to sign it.
Great. So if you'd like to speak with Captain Carl Fismer and meet him, see some of the amazing things that he found in the ocean, just check out the TAMDC Texas Treasure Show that's happening at the Mayborn Convention and Activity Center April 20th through April 22nd. Captain, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.